Hello and welcome to the Practice Marketing Podcast, highlighting successful strategies from North America's fastest growing clinics and experts so you can learn from their wins and power your practice growth. Hi, I'm your host, Neil Trickett, CEO of Practice Promotions, and today's focus, we're going to talk about 5 signs your PT website is holding you back. So quick question for you. If your website was a front desk employee, would you keep them? Or would they have been fired months ago? You see, most PT owners pour energy into clinical excellence and almost none into their online presence. But here's the reality. Before a patient ever calls you, they've already judged you based on your website and your online presence. And now it's not just Google. You have to impress AI tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google AI overviews. They're basically answering patient questions directly. And so if your site isn't built the right way, AI won't even know you exist. So today we're going to walk through 5 signs your website is actually costing you patients and what you can do about it. So here's sign number 1. It takes forever to load. And the problem is that the average person waits less than 3 seconds for a page to load before leaving. And PT patients are no different. You see, a slow site doesn't just frustrate visitors, it tanks your Google ranking, meaning fewer people find you even in the first place. And with AI search becoming more common, page speed and technical performance are factors in whether AI tools pull your content as a trusted source. So why does this happen in PT? Well, clinics often build websites once and never touch them again. They have bloated plugins, oversized staff photo files, and cheap hosting, which quietly slows everything down. And that beautiful slideshow on your homepage, it might be costing you actually new patients every single day because it slows everything down. So here's what you can do about this. You definitely want to run your site through Google Page Speed Insights. It's free and it takes 60 seconds. That's going to show you if you need to compress your images before uploading. Things like tiny PNG are actually free and things that you can do to shrink the size of your images, which makes things faster to load. And then definitely ask your web host if you're on a shared server, and if possible, upgrade that to a faster hosting. This can be done for often less than $20 a month. And then you want to definitely remove unnecessary plugins from your WordPress site and page elements that add load time with no real value. So the bottom line is a slow website is a leaky bucket, and you can spend all the money you want on ads, Meta, Google, and SEO, but if the site loads slowly, patients are gone before they ever read a word. Now here's a second sign that your website is losing you patients, and it's not showing up on Google or in AI searches. And so here's the problem, and this is a big one. You could have the most beautiful website in the world, but if no one can find it, it doesn't matter. See, most PT clinics are invisible online, not because of bad luck, but because their site is missing the basic building blocks of search visibility.
The top 10% of PT owners aren't just surviving, they're thriving. But what's their secret? Well, Neil Trickett's new Market to Grow book reveals how the top 10% of PT practices leverage marketing systems to simultaneously grow their new patients, attract top talent, and boost profit in their practice. You can learn from their secrets. Visit practicepromotions.net/book to claim your free copy of Market to Grow. Yes, you heard that right. We are shipping a free copy of Market to Grow to all podcast listeners who want it. Just visit practicepromotions.net/book to claim your free book. And now back to the show.
Now there's a new layer to all of that, and that's AI search. So when someone asks ChatGPT, hey, what's the best physical therapy clinic for knee replacement recovery in Richmond, Virginia, the AI pulls from websites it deems credible, well-structured, and informative. And so if your site is thin on content and you don't have blogs and all that kind of information, or even what's really, really important is condition pages, you won't show up there either. And so here's why this happens in PT is that local companies or local agencies are trying to get a really cheap website. Those generic websites with just a homepage, an about page, some contact information, a few things about the clinic, give Google almost nothing to work with. And so a lot of times we see websites that have no condition-specific pages, and that just means you're invisible for searches like PT after rotator cuff surgery or ACL rehab near me. There's 1,000 searches happening daily in your community for all kinds of different conditions. Missing or unclaimed Google business profiles is also one of the most common and costly mistakes that we see. So here's what you can do about this. Definitely claim and fully optimize your Google business profile. That means great photos, hours, services, Q&A, connections to social profiles, and of course, you need to be collecting Google reviews consistently. You want to create individual pages for every condition that you treat. Knee replacement rehab, ACL recovery, post-surgical shoulder PT, sports injuries, all kinds of things. And write content that answers real patient questions. This is exactly what AI tools scan when forming their answers. You also want to use location-based language, which is naturally done throughout your website. Your city, your neighborhoods, nearby hospitals, surgical centers, common local sites. Things like that are going to help you be found in a more local type of search. So think about what a patient types in at Google at 10 p.m. at night after getting their surgery date a couple of weeks out. And how are you going to make sure that you have a page that answers that exact question for them? So the bottom line is that Google and AI searches both reward websites that are helpful, specific, and credible. And the clinics showing up at the top aren't necessarily the best clinics. They're the ones who've built the best websites with search in mind. All right, so here's the third sign, that there's no clear path to book an appointment on your website. Maybe it's just to contact us. And the problem is a confused visitor does nothing. If someone lands on your website and has to hunt for how to contact you, they'll leave and call the next clinic on the list. This is one of the most common PT website mistakes. Clinics spend so much effort getting people to the website that they then fail at the most important moment, which is called the conversion. And if AI search sends someone directly to a specific page on your site, let's say your ACL rehab page, that page needs to stand on its own and make it obvious what to do next. We really see a problem with local pages, especially if you have more than one location. A lot of times they may have no location page or the location page is really thin, but that's the one that's actually showing up when people search in that particular location. So it has to really compel them and sell them on why they should come see you. And so why all of this happens in PT is that the contact info is generally buried in the footer, a generic contact us form with no context or warmth. And sometimes there's no online booking option, and patients today expect to request an appointment the same way they order food or book a haircut. There's obviously no incentive to take action, nothing that reduces the fear of that first call. So here's things that you can do about this. First off, put a clear call to action button in the top right corner of every single page on your website. Request an appointment, or book a call, or book a free discovery call, or book an appointment, whatever it is for you. Then offer a low barrier first step. Maybe that's a free phone consultation, a free injury screening, or even a downloadable recovery guide that captures their email. Then you got to definitely make your phone number click to call for mobile users. This is a non-negotiable. And then you can add a brief line that removes hesitation. Not sure if PT is right for you? Call us for a free 10-minute phone consult. Every condition page, every blog post, every service page should end with a clear next step for that visitor. And so here's the bottom line, is that your website's job is not just to inform, it's to convert. Every page should have one clear action you want the visitor to take, and it should be impossible to miss. All right, so here's the fourth sign. It looks like it was built in 2012. And so the problem is that patients make a subconscious judgment about your clinical quality based on your website design in under 5 seconds. That is your online brand. And so an outdated website with stock photos of strangers, tiny fonts, and a cluttered layout sends a signal. This practice isn't current. And if they're not current online, are they current with their clinical techniques? That's what the patient's thinking. This matters even more now because AI tools tend to pull content from sites that are well structured and modern. You see, poor site architecture is another invisible barrier to AI discoverability. And so, why we see this happen in PT? Well, websites get built once and then generally forgotten. Meanwhile, design standards evolve every few years. I want you to think about how an iPhone 8 is now compared to an iPhone 17. The same thing with websites. And so if your website is 3 or more years old, it starts to get into the iPhone 8 category. See, many PT owners don't realize how dated their site looks because they don't spend time on it. And here's a key thing. Mobile experience is often an afterthought, but over 60% of patients are visiting your site from their phone, and often right after a surgeon's appointment or if they got hurt. So here's what you can do about this. Pull up your own website on your phone right now and see, is it easy to read? Is it easy to navigate? Does it load fast? Replace those generic stock photos also with real images of your clinic, your team, and your equipment. Authenticity builds trust. And what we do is we actually send a photography crew out to clinics to get amazing pictures of treating patients and being in the clinic, so you can use that throughout your website and your different marketing to really show that patient what it's like being at your clinic. You also want to simplify your navigation on your website. Patients should be able to find what they need in 2 clicks or less. Make it easy. Use clean fonts, plenty of white space, and a clear visual hierarchy. So if your site hasn't been redesigned in the last, say, 3 to maybe even 4 years, it's probably time. This is one of those highest ROI investments a PT practice can make, so don't cheap out on your website. The bottom line is that design is not vanity, it's trust. And a modern, clean, mobile-friendly website tells patients that you take your practice seriously. And that's exactly the kind of clinic they want to walk into. All right, so here's the 5th sign. It's all about you and not the patient. I see this time and time again. And the problem is that when you open most PT websites, you'll see the same thing. A welcome message from the owner, a list of staff credentials, a paragraph about the clinic's mission. And the problem is, patients don't come to your website to learn about you. They come because they're scared, they're in pain, and they're trying to figure out if you can help them solve their problem. And AI search compounds upon this. And when an AI reads your site to decide if it should recommend you or not, it's looking for clear, patient-centered answers to real questions. So a site full of we language, staff bios, technical PT jargon doesn't answer patient questions. It answers your questions. So why we see this happening in PTs and PT clinics? It's natural, to want to introduce yourself and build credibility. We do that all the time. But most PT websites lead with the clinic's story instead of the patient's problem. And the result is a site that feels like a brochure instead of a conversation. So here's what you can do about this. Flip the language. Instead of, we specialize in orthopedic PT, you can say, hey, if you're recovering from surgery, we'll get you back to life you love faster. You want to lead every page with the patient's problem, then introduce your solution to that problem. You want to create condition-specific content that speaks directly to what patients are feeling. Just got your surgery date, for example? Here's what to expect and how to prepare for it. Copy like that is really going to go a long way. And then you want to add real patient stories, video testimonials, outcome milestones. Let your patients tell the story for you so other people can relate to it. And then, of course, you want to be able to have consistent blog posts and FAQs that answer the exact questions patients are Googling and asking those AI tools. How long is recovery after knee replacement? Can PT really help before surgery? What should I look for in a post-surgical PT clinic? These are the things that people are asking. So the bottom line is that the best PT websites make the patient feel understood before they ever walk through your door. And when someone reads your site and thinks, this place gets exactly what I'm going through, that's when they're going to call. All right, so to recap the 5 signs your PT website is holding you back, One is your site loads too slowly. 2, you're invisible on Google and AI searches. 3, there's no clear path to book. 4, your design is outdated. And 5, it's about you and not the patient. All right, so this week, I want you to look at your website like a brand new patient would. Someone who just got a surgery or got injured and is scared and searching for help. Does your site speak to them? Does it show up for them? Does it make it easy for them to reach you in the first few seconds? If the answer is no to any of those, you've got work to do. And the good news is that every single one of these problems is totally fixable. Hey, and that's what we do here at Practice Promotions every day. And we built over 1,000 high-performing and high-converting websites. All right, so I want to thank you for joining me on this Practice Marketing podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast, as well as these episodes you can check out on our YouTube channel at Practice Promotions Physical Therapy Marketing. And of course, check out practicepromotions.net. We've got our portfolio of websites for you to check out on there. We've got free marketing tips on how to make your website better, different strategies. And of course, you can get our free PT marketing kit shipped to you, and also our Market to Grow book, strategy book, which we can get shipped to your practice for free too. So go ahead and get that at practicepromotions.net. This is Neil Trickett from the Practice Marketing Podcast, wishing you much success in your practice.
A free way for you to support our show is by leaving a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It's a chance for you to tell us what you love about the show, and it helps others discover it as well. Just scroll down to ratings and review on your phone and click write a review. Thanks.